You played for Bill Peters. He obviously coached alongside Mike Babcock. Will that help ease your transition in terms of how those men coach?
I think so. A lot of the time when we would play Toronto, the last couple of years, it'd be like playing a mirror of yourself. Tough games out there, not a lot of space. Both teams very well coached with a system that's pretty similar. So hopefully that will certainly make coming in and getting off to a good start easier.
Is that one of the attractions coming to a place like this, knowing that you're going to fit right into the system?
Definitely doesn't hurt. I really feel like playing for Bill the past 3 years in Carolina, my game's changed over the years, but 5-on-5 wise, I feel like it's been really good under that kind of system. You know, I've said for the last couple of years, you know, the best defense I've played is really when I'm not playing it, when we're not letting anybody in our zone with control of the puck too often, and so I think that'll be our philosophy and goal here, and hopefully that can continue.
Have you done any of the physical training here?
Just got done, that's why I'm speaking somewhat poorly.
What was the hardest one for you?
Well,
or the most fun?
none of it's ever fun, but it's something you do as a team. There is something, you know, when you're 21, you don't really appreciate as much as maybe when you're older. There's something about doing it together as a team and everyone pushing for each other and doing it together and trying to do well so that you're ready to come out and do it. You know, those are things that maybe escape you a little easier when you're 22 than 36, but I'm glad that it's done. Next.
I know there's some water under the bridge, but do you feel you learned anything in your time in Montreal early in your career that might help with playing in this kind of market?
I definitely did. Well, with that, certainly, I mean, there's a lot of similarities, obviously. I was a much different person in my early 20s than I am now, than I was even in my mid-20s or later. Bob Gainey, Claude Julien were the guys in charge there, and I wasn't as prepared to listen and learn at that time as I probably was later on. I've said that before, but certainly market-wise and everything, they're two very excited, passionate cities about hockey, so obviously a lot of similarities there.
Some people don't really like to come to Toronto or think they want to be here because of all of the attention and the fact that you can't go anywhere and be anonymous. Do you see any of that? How do you feel about it?
I don't know. If that's hard to say. Everybody's different, you know. Some people would certainly not like a ton of attention. You know, you can't say it's impossible. Having said that, I think, you know, in the past, could someone say, well, it's a bad team, you know, but we'll use the market as an excuse. I'm just talking out loud. I have no idea. For me, this system, this team, the entire staff that they've built here, this was the team, you know, when I had to start picking a team, this is the team I wanted to come to, you know, market or big or small. That's really it.
How much of things that Mike Babcock...
Sorry. How much, if anything, do you know about Morgan Riley?
I mean, before last week, just playing against him, you know, very little, and watching, you know, whenever you get to see games on TV. So ins and outs of his game and stuff like that, not a lot. You know, it's not like I haven't watched a ton, except as a casual fan for the most part. So it's been good getting to meet him and know him this week, but, you know, on a more personal level. But, you know, I'd be lying if I said I know a ton about, you know, everything about him.
One of the things that Mike Babcock talked about with the additions of yourself and Patrick Marleau and Dominic Moore is how good pros you are and how much he's looking forward to you guys being able to help set an example for the young core of this team. How much do you embrace that part of the game, being a leader that can help younger players along?
I don't know, you know, as you're around longer and longer, I think, you know, some guys are certainly more vocal than others, but as you're around longer, I think it's kind of just natural that people start to, teammates-wise, watch you a little bit more, what you do day to day, what you do away from the rink, to be prepared for, you know, 80 games. It's not easier when you're older, but, you know, I remember being 22 and felt like 80 games was forever, and now being in my mid-30s, it's still a lot of games, but it's the way you prepare mentally throughout the week. It seems to go by a lot faster. Maybe that's a combination of things. So look, I'm going to be the same person I've been for the past 10, 12 years, wherever I've been. And if guys can pick up off things off that, great. And you know, if there's a time and a place where, you know, I feel something needs to be said, sure. But you know, I'm not big on that. You know, we're all pros here, and you pick up on how to do things and how not to do things pretty quick, I think.
And having seen players like Jeff Skinner and Noah Hannafin acclimate so quickly, your feelings on getting a chance to play with a bunch of youngsters here as well?
Well, it's similar. I mean, we had a ton of youth come in through Carolina the last couple of years. Some, you know, because of maybe where they were drafted, and some guys just kicked the door down. You know, we had a couple defensemen who started in the American League. We're going to be brought along slowly, and we had injuries. They came in, you couldn't take them out of the lineup. So, you know, it's similar in a lot of ways, that a lot of great young talented players, high draft picks. They're coming in. A lot of them last year was their first year, and as the season went on, they got better and better, and that's what we're going to hope. You know, we're going to hope that some of us that are new here can continue to do what we've been doing over the years, and that the young players whose careers are on the upswing, if you will, on the way up the hill, continue to improve, continue to mature, and we'll see where we end up.
These skates, these opportunities you've had to skate with Morgan, did that put you in feeling in a good place going into camp with him and maybe getting a sense of what he likes to do on the ice, that sort of thing?
It's just good to be around all the guys, to get to know them, play around. I mean, let's face facts, these are just kind of go out there, get your legs, get your hands scrimmages. We're not worrying too much about how we play the game out there, like we will starting next week when we start getting into some exhibition games. So it's really just more being around the guys, getting to know everyone, getting situated in a new place. You know, that's what's really important the first couple weeks, and we'll see.